For the first time, I head to a site and money goes into my pocket and doesn't come out of it. I get a call out of the blue. I need to go and have a look at some 40-yard bins, and I'm back in a chopper, heading to the north of the country for a scheduled meeting with Optimus Prime. I'm Daniel, and this Ashville Weekly, episode 141. Monday morning, I'm not in the yard. I'm at the £15 million house. It's gonna be a good week. Man found a bluey. For once I came to site and money is going into my pocket, not coming out of it. Going once, anyone drop it? Going twice, did anyone drop it? Sold to the man who found it. Nice. It's another muggy, humid day. We are in the corner over here digging for the bespoke diving board, and over here we are finally starting the paving. The work I showed you last week with the linear drainage going all around, and now we can see the tiles with the bullnose finish on the edge. The first one has gone down as we speak. My video team just been talking rubbish about the one time I did it, like was just a one-off. So it's a bit of redemption. Let's go have a look at the excavation in this area, man. We're at 120 already, yeah? Yeah. What are we, 1.1 and 600?
600.
And 600, yeah?
I do it a bit wider for...
So we can get the shuttering in.
Yeah,
okay, I understand.
At the back, at the side.
Everything all right, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just switch on air condition and we'll be perfect.
I'm trying to turn the wind on, but it's not happening. Originally, in this area, plan was to start the bullnose tiles here and then work our way here, and that would have given us our line. But we have started over there, but it's not going to affect us because it's on a raised level. That is like a completely separate area. So we're going to push it as far as possible to the corners, obviously after we remove external dining table. Last week you saw us measuring up for the templating of the steel. Click here to watch that video. Now the steel fabricator has come back and he has said that he doesn't believe that structurally it's enough. If 30 people sit here, he believes there'll be flex in it if you include the weight of the timber, and he doesn't believe it's strong enough. So we went back to the engineer. Now the engineer told us to pour a C45 and do rebar. We poured a C50 and increased the rebar significantly. So this structure is actually stronger than the engineer told us to do. And we went back and expressed the fabricator's concerns, and the structure engineer said,
"No, I stand by my work. It is most definitely strong enough to clad and have 30 people sitting on it, and any flex in it will not detach it or cause any damage."
We have it in an email. So, structural engineer knows his professional indemnity is on the line, so we're gonna get on with the work. Wait, hold on, turn this over with me. Hold on, hold on. Wait, so that's the tile on, bullnose tile on the end. Yeah. I've looked at the drawing to see how we're gonna lay them out, but in the drawing I can't see the color. This is right, then this is right. So we have a darker border and a what do you call this? A limestone? Beige. Can you give us something a bit more exotic than that, Manny? Not beige. Should I call it magnolia? Come on, give me something exotic. No, I don't want to call it magnolia. It's vanilla. With the setting out done, I'm heading back to the yard. Just check my emails. I've had a good one come through for once. The job we looked at in central London the other day, they have accepted the preliminary costing and they'd like to move forward. So I am now going to take them to the £2 million penthouse. Click here to watch that video. The day has taken a turn. I was heading back to the yard. I do have loads of work to do, but I received a message that said,
"Do you want any 40-yard bins?"
And the answer to the question is, yes, I want 40-yard bins. Looked at my schedule. I've got no other time this week to look at it. So I'm heading back to the yard. I'm gonna grab the townie, and then the townie and I are gonna head over to southeast London. Found them. Let's take a look around. That's taken a beating, needs a new headboard. Completely bowed. Hopefully there's something better here. Oh, look, a flatbed. Look at that. Oh, stinging nettles, and he's got shorts on. Very clever. This is a bit beaten up. Single door. Prefer barn doors. Set of barn doors. Relatively straight. What's that look like? Okay. Could put a plate on it. We'll change the headboard. Yeah, I think those two do for me. Can't see that server. Oh, look how... No. Looking for trouble for myself there. No. My townie will start using very bad language if I try and bring that back to the yard and ask him to fix it. Stinging nettles. They're not perfect, but they are used bins and they've been worked. I think they were owned by a scrap company. Time to try and make a deal and take the two that I saw. Oh, hold on, there's another one here. Let's have a look at this one before we act too hasty. Bit bowed. Yeah. No. Yeah. No. Really bowed. You could straighten it, but do you want to be doing all that? Headboard is decent. Managed to make a deal. The 35 yarder and the 40 yarder, managed to get them together for just under 3k, and the last one you saw what needed a bit more work to it. It's a sound bin to have in the yard after we spend maybe need to spend a week on it to get it nice and strong again, beat it, straighten it, weld, put a new bar on at the top. We bid half the money for that one. This weather is bad for business. The foundations that we were digging earlier at the £15 million house, they're going to be full of water. The area where we're going to be paving, can't pave in this kind of weather. And apparently some parts of the country there's going to be a month's rainfall in a couple of hours. Oh, lightning. Not a great end to Monday. Tuesday morning. This morning at the refurbishment project with the air conditioning pipes running in the trench, in the garden, all the way to the back to the external units. We have tested them again. They're completely fine. So we're going to start filling in the trench. I'm heading to a lighting supplier. I'm going there to talk about the refurbishment project, and I want to ensure that I see all the fittings firsthand. Long gone are the days of getting a bit of string and going whack, whack, whack and having 3 rows of 3 spotlights in chrome. That is not suitable for a house like the refurbishment project. The spotlights we do have, I want the ones which we can plaster over, which are rimless, so they look absolutely flush in a sprayed finish. I want to see all of these fittings firsthand, so I'm heading into Central to do that now. Well, I'm not actually heading into Central, I'm just sitting in traffic, as you do when you're going into Central.
Take as many pictures as you want.
I found that meeting very helpful and informative. A couple of times I've been going round and round in my mind thinking about what sort of lighting we should use at different rooms at the refurbishment project, and they had a system which had a track and the lights were magnetic and you could pull them out and put them back and pull them out and put them back. And I think that'll be fantastic for the games room, because having a pool table, poker table, you never know when things are going to move around in the room, and you can kind of stagger them in the ceiling. You can have it like in an L shape, or you can have a couple of lines, and it looks very sleek, and I think it's really cool. What's more important is that you can continue that feature along the ceiling, and then you can drop it down the wall so you can wash the walls with light. Yesterday, I feel we got lucky with the bins. Ben's gonna go and collect them tomorrow morning, and I got a message from somebody who used to crush their own cubes and now they don't want to crush them anymore. This is everything we need to start crushing cubes internally, not other companies, but ours, the cubes we make in the yard to test the concrete we're doing. So I'm now trying to negotiate for this second-hand gear. It's not as simple as just buying it and then we can do it. I'm gonna have to get it recalibrated and we're gonna have to do some training. But as we're looking to get a batch plant in the next, 12 to 18 months, being able to test the cubes ourselves is really important. We're looking at a batch plant with 6 bins, which basically means we can use recycled and primary product. So at the moment, we only use primary product for our concrete, but we could also use recycled. And when we're using different mixes, we can use our own cube testing equipment to test the cubes which we make to see if what we do is coming up to strength. So let the negotiations begin.
Look, it's not being used, and I spoke to Doug. I said, Doug, do you know anyone who would want it rather than it just sitting there, because my boss is willing to just leave it to sit there. And I said, look, if I find someone, and he said, tell them to make an offer and I'll think about it.
All right, I'll give you $4,000 for the lot.
Okay, I will pass on the message and I'll let you know.
Thank you. I think if I get it for $4,000, I've done really well. My concrete consultant knows the equipment. He's the one who introduced us, so I know it works. All this equipment would be about £15,000 probably new. The crusher itself would have been about 8, and then all the other bits and pieces around it. But once again, it's used. I've got to get it calibrated. I've got to collect it. I've got to set it up. I'm probably going to spend another couple of grand myself. I'll be in at over 50%, which for second hand is there or thereabouts. I'm back at the yard. The time is 1 p.m. and my 1 p.m. is cancelled. Matt has flown in from Switzerland. We just had a discussion with an insurer. Now, over the past few years, I have been fighting to get a common renewal date. So we have so many different insurance policies for indemnity, public liability, fleet policy on trucks, policies on vans, policies on plant, a separate railway policy. Now we want cyber insurance, and there's so many of them. Been trying to get them all to renew on the 1st of September so we can go to one insurer with everything, and therefore have a better price because they can look at it in detail and take out everywhere where it's overlapping. We spent some time with a gentleman earlier, and he's going to the drawing board to have a look at what he can do for us and the offering. And I am wrong about something. Not long ago, I told you Ben was going for one of the bins tomorrow morning. Ben is on the way now to collect the first of the bins, and then he's going to get the other one tomorrow morning. Right, the door's taking a bit of a slap. We had to beat it out there. One of the hinges at the bottom is damaged, but that's an easy fix. It's a nice solid bin. What we need to do here is take a machine, push the sides in, these bits, heat it up, move it, weld it. See the patches like what are here. We can create those patches and get rid of it. And then we need to make a decision. Are we going to change this entire front headboard, or are we going to repair that? We'll probably end up changing the whole headboard. But the bin itself is good and solid. The floor's all right. You saw how easily it came off. The wheels need a bit of TLC because we had to use persuasion and force it a little bit. This is really important. We need to build it up, and then we need to have a bar back here to stabilize it. But other than that, this is a good old solid bin. Needs a bit of work. But when we get a bin, we always need to spray them anyway. We need to spray it, write Ashville on the side of it. So all part and parcel of buying second-hand gear. But I keep repeating, I am not a salvage hunter or a hoarder. This is the smoke vent system that's going in at the refurbishment project. Because of the open plan living areas for fire prevention, we've had to put in a smoke vent. In case of a fire, it's going to open and draw all the smoke out to give people in the house a chance to escape. On the road again. I'm going to meet my good friend that you haven't seen in a good while, Dr. Tunde Okawale, OBE, or is he MBE? He's OBE or MBE, he's one of them. Last year, I went on a charity walk with his charity, which make law accessible to all urban lawyers. And once again, I'm heading down to Central to support the cause, and it looks like the weather is on our side. We are back.
Yes, Daniel's wearing my t-shirt, I'm wearing his. Clear indication about who's been working out.
Last year I wore triple XL. This year I'm wearing an XL. So I just had to say to Tunde,
it's medium.
Extra small to medium. I'd say to him, bring me a smaller size.
Appreciative that Daniel, for the second year in a row, supported urban lawyers and the legal walk. Let's see how many times he gets stopped and asked for autograph this year. Last year, he was more famous than the charity, which we love, because it helped enhance our profile. So thank you very much. Appreciate you as always, Dan.
Last time there was music and there was events and loads going on. Can't hear it. Oh yeah, I can hear it, I can hear it, I can hear it. Hey, it's the first policeman that were ever taller than me, boy.
So we're approaching, I believe, the 1 kilometer mark. As you can see, it's a very busy day. The whole legal community is out to support an amazing cause. The primary objective of the walk is to raise funds for those that are unable to afford legal representation. We have Daniel, who's literally been gathering his own crowd, which is amazing.
It's not too late to donate. Link in the description.
It's Wednesday morning. I'm at the refurbishment project. We started filling the trench, but we had a few delays, so we're finishing it this morning. Material was dropped at the front. We used a digger and dumper, brought the material to the back. Now we've managed to fill this section of the trench, and now we're using the digger and dumper to move the rest of the reject sand up to the top area there. Then the digger will track round on the little ramp, which we made here, and then we'll finish filling the rest up there. In the kitchen has changed somewhat. You can see the copper supply pipes. This is in the right location for the sink. We have a kitchen plan on the wall we're working from. The ducts are all going to hide behind this wall. So we're going to build it out by 150. We're going to do this in 4x2 timber, and then we're going to insulate it. We're going to have insulation plasterboard, which is about 72, 73 mil overall on all the external walls fitted directly. But we can't do it here because we're going to build the wall out, so the insulation will be between the joists. But this creates a little bit of a problem / challenge over in this area. Let me show you. So we have bifolds on the front here, and we have fixed panes on the right and the left. So we have to work on the kitchen being 150 here, and how we're going to close that off and the build up of the window. We're preparing this floor and the level above for them to start the manufacture of the windows. But in order to do that, we need to get down to the perfect dimensions, because once they're made, we don't want them to come to site and then we have to make alterations. We want to be able to fit them straight in. So stay with me. I'm trying to explain the build-ups to you. We need to have the plasterboard with the insulation, which is roughly this thickness. So if you imagine, if I were to put this here and then you have the window frame, it won't be enough. So we build out the window frame with timber. We can then put our plasterboard and insulation here. It will then finish flush into the window frame, so the window frame doesn't sit behind. We're gonna have timber in here, and then we're gonna build up here with the plasterboard and insulation, and also build up this side. And the window frame will sit here. On this side, the insulation will go here, the window frame will go here, and the plasterboard will finish at the window frame. On the outside, we are going to have a 12 mil ply fit here, and a 12 mil ply on this side. And if you have a look at the cladding, there's a slight insert area. We are going to fit the 3 mil aluminium into this, and this runs down to the ground. It will finish exactly flush with the brickwork, and it will look like this, as well as the bifold doors and fixed pane windows are all aluminium. We are removing the existing staircase and parts of the landing. So this circular steel part here, that was just for decoration. We're breaking away the concrete that's been poured within it, and then we're going to disconnect and remove, because the new staircase is not that shape. Once we remove this part of the staircase, there is a slab here at landing level. Now we're going to break away the main part. We're then going to create a steel in this section. So we're going to have to do a pad on each side and put a steel in place of this, because the new steel staircase has a landing, but that landing is made out of steel and it's not going to be connected into the walls, and we have to find a way to support it. In the master bedroom, the Velux windows are in, and this is the power, as these are electrically opening and they have electric blinds on them, which is serious. Yesterday when I was at the lighting showroom, I'm thinking of using the track system and running that track within the joists here. Bed here, table either side, and with that track system, we can have bedside lamps which hang from the ceiling, and then have cool features in the lighting which run along the ridges of the vaulted ceiling. which will look epic. And now we're just doing the timber work exactly as you saw us doing in the kitchen, so we can get the final dimensions so the production of the windows can start. Take on me. This morning, Ben went to collect the second bin, and the second bin should be arriving in the yard about now. And there's a 1.5 ton machine going out. I know it's only a 1.5 tonner, but it is one of the machines going out the yard, which the young lad in the office, Liam, that's his sale. Give the young lad credit where it's due. And we're gonna load the machine onto the flatbed now, strap it down, and we are going to deliver it to site. Get in. Heard a big bang, looked out the window, and we are straightening up the sides of bin number 1. This is slightly bowed, flipped it over, and that is a 26 ton machine, and we are pushing it down, getting it straight. Look at that, straighter already.
Daniel, my brother, your hair is all receding behind your ears.
Where I come from, we call it a drawback.
It's not a drawback, it's you're stressing. You need me there.
Listen to me now, and listen to me really good. Now, you're Michael, my brother. Instead of saying my mum, I'm gonna say our mum. So our mum, I don't really want our mum to keep working, but she wants to work. She says I ain't got no grandchildren, so she got to keep working. She's walking down the road. And on my mum's road, at 7 o'clock in the morning, there was an O'Donovan lorry parked up taking a skip that she felt she had to send me a picture. Can you explain what your lorry was doing on my mum's road?
We were doing our job. Tell her I do apologise for them.
Yeah.
But she obviously lives on my manor, so nice to know
You're saying that my mum lives on your manor now?
Our mum lives on our manor, that's it.
Do me a favour. It's one thing running around here doing a couple of skips, yeah? The ones you do, I didn't want to do them anyway. You do the work for nothing. You're a busy fool.
Yeah, I'll agree with the second bit of the sentence. The fooly bit, yes, definitely, I am.
Stay off my mum's road, please.
If your mother should be straight up to the builder now, and she should get a car, one of your cars, and say, look, my son does skips. He might not be as punctual as the O'Donovan group. Do
you know what, mate? If they're using you as opposed to me, they're obviously a bunch of confused fellas anyway.
What they're probably thinking is we're going to film more than one skip a day, so we need someone that can turn around the volume. But with the O'Donovan group having 48 odd skip lorries, that's why they use us, because we can give them the service.
Right, okay, fine.
With you mushroom hauliers, you struggle to give the service.
Mushroom hauliers because we pop up overnight and then disappear, yeah?
Yeah, that's it. Yes, you've got it. Where's my hoodie?
What are you going to wear a hoodie in 30-degree weather for?
Because I need to put it with the rest of them.
You ain't getting a hoodie, but there'll be a T-shirt in the post to you.
Know where I live, didn't you?
I know where you live. You invited me there once and never had me back, and you wouldn't have to fish there either, so...
Yes. Yeah, that's another long story, isn't it?
I'm just changing the laces in my boots, because the laces in my boots are gone.
What, been stolen?
No.
That's the type of people that you've got over that side of London.
The laces have been frayed from me tightening them and untightening them so much. And
yeah, I see you doing your bit up in Scotland. That was funny.
I don't think everybody saw it that way.
I've already put a bid in for that quarry.
Do you know what, Michael? Off the top of my head, I would say that Glen Sander quarry is probably worth easily 10 billion quid.
Yeah, it's peanuts.
Right, it's peanuts. All right, sweet.
No, I had 2 boats in last week.
Right, you had 2 boats in last week. All right, sweet, Michael.
Yeah, right, come down the River Lee, parked up at the side. We offloaded them with our 90-ton Hitachi. So Donovan's and old cowboys, boy, I tell you.
Okay.
That's the people come from West Cork.
Right.
Bye-bye.
So, putting the acros here to stop the movement, push the sides in. That looks a lot straighter. Now we're trying to find a piece of steel which is going to go across the top here. A lot of the bits in here have been banged into place. Going to do a few plates. I'm still not sure what we're going to do about this board at the front here, but already that is a much better shape in here. Look at that, that's a lot better. So when it's actually on the back of the lorry, it's not bowing everywhere. If you have a look here, it's already been grinded down. This will be welded soon as well. Probably prepare everything that we're going to weld and then weld them all at the same time. Let's go and have a look at the other bin which arrived earlier. This one actually looks a lot straighter. Have to straighten it out at the top there. Much more room to look around it. Doesn't look very pretty, but will most definitely do the job. A bit of repair work there. It's bowed a tiny bit here, but once again, we can use the machine and some persuasion to get that sorted. Hinges are still together. Got our barn doors. Doors aren't fully lined up properly, but it's not the biggest problem in the world. Had a meeting with my CFO earlier. I put together a cash flow forecast 6 months ago, and I estimated the revenue that we would generate in the coming months. Now, from what my CFO is telling me, the estimated revenue that I put in, we were bang on in March and April. Before I get excited and start jumping up and down, what that doesn't tell me is if we made any money. You know the saying, turnover for vanity, profit for sanity. We now have to work out if my projected figures actually mean that we made a profit, or if my projected figures were just an increase in turnover. Be good to know. It's Thursday. I'm in the yard. Have a look around the bin. My townie's not in today, but I can see yesterday that the welding started and the hinge is now a lot better. The other side of this bin, it did kick out a little bit, so we're going to put it down once more time, use the machine and push it down. I was on a Zoom with the company building the operating system for Ashville plant hire. We were going through details, and there's so much information that needs to be uploaded to the system, but once it was uploaded and you click one button, the machines were shown and the attachments that come with them, the serial numbers, plus the price it's rented out for. It works pretty well. I then had a call with an acoustic consultant. Last week, I was talking about the plan I was going to put in place for the refurbishment project to ensure that the loft was completely sound tight. The more I think about it, the more I realize that my understanding of dampening sound is limited to what I know of acoustics residentially. So I'm talking about party walls, for instance, encasing all steels in two 15mm soundboard, having a slightly raised level, using chipboard with the acoustic underneath, doing all walls from slab to slab, using acoustic mastic. That's my understanding. But there's a level above this where you have different floating floors which are a lot higher. You have different fittings which actually dampen the sound completely. So I've decided to take some advice to ensure that I get it right the first time. We're definitely going to have to do some work on the underside of the joist. It's a design and build, so I'm not going to get any more money for it because I already priced it, but just to get it right, it makes sense to do it now, because imagine you do everything and you finish it, the client moves in, they set up their studio, you turn it all on and the sound transfers through the house. I know that at 3 a.m. on that day, I will be getting a call, and I want neither of those things to happen. It's Friday morning. I'm heading up to Denham Airfield because Paul Foxy's up to his old tricks again. There's a helicopter landing, which is going to drop off his head fitter welder, take a look at the bucket that needs to be repaired. We're then going to head back to Denham and jump in the chopper and go up to the north of the country because me and Paul need to have a couple of discussions. The drawing has come through for the steel fabrication for the floating seats at the £15 million house. So the concerns of the steel fabricator and the Ashville team was that there'll be too much flex in it, but the engineer has confirmed it's fine. It's not going to be straightforward to make this piece of curved steel. You basically have to make loads of little straight ones on the corner and then put them all together, and then it should fit in. But you'll see that in detail and the work which happens in the workshop in the main video once the project is finished. It's arrived. Baz is in the yard.
I've never seen one that bad. Well, the fabber will fix it, yeah?
Yeah, all right.
Heel plates are completely missing.
Okay.
Complete new floor in it.
Yeah.
New motherboard, new double edge, new sides.
And what steel are we looking to use on it?
We use Ardox or AX, probably HP 500 for the edge.
When can we get it fixed?
When do you want it fixed?
Yesterday.
Get the bucket to me.
All right, fine. All right. Now I've got to work out how we're going to do it, because I don't think that the pilot's going to let us pull it along the bottom of the helicopter and then drop it in the yard. So we're going to have a look at the Fox Ashville machines down the bottom of the yard. And there's a little bit of a problem with us going to look at the machines in the yard, is that the machines shouldn't be in the yard. They should be out on hire, but we're just still in negotiations and conversations and interviewing a salesman. Basil and I are back at Denham. We're going to jump in the chopper and head up and have a look at a yard that's probably about 1,000 times bigger with about 1,000 times more lorries in it, so I can get some inspiration. Let's do it. Off to you, mate.
I can really see why something like this is appealing to a man like Paul Fox, because you can actually work on the go. Now, we checked when we left the yard and it was a 4.5 hour journey, and we're going to be there in around 45 minutes. Already flying over here, I just see HS2 down there, and being at Denham Airfield reminds me again, it's the one thing that continues to evade me, getting my pilot's license. So, you know, I really need to try and put some time into it and do it, but it's when do I find the time? You saw us move the digger and dumper from the £15 million house to the refurbishment project. So we've now filled in that trench. We're leaving the digger there, but what we're now going to do is take the dumper back to the £15 million house so we can start moving material. I love going up and down the country, going to different yards, because I get inspiration. So I have no doubt when I get up to see Fox's yard, 400 lorries running around, I have no doubt that I will look at it and see what is actually possible. And knowing that things are possible inspires me to push on. It's good to be around people who are like-minded. They all want to push forward, they all want to succeed. And it's good to see other people's management style, because their company is a lot bigger than ours is. So I'd like to see Paul working with his staff on the ground, seeing how he interacts with them, see how they run their yard, because I could most definitely learn something. Now, Fox Brothers have their own railhead. I think we're doing a swoop around now, having a look at their yard. I think we're nearly there. We're landing in the yard next to the workshop. Can you imagine? Look at this! Look at that! Crazy! And here we are!
So we stepped into Baz's arena, his workshop. He's got a new van. What van is that?
Spencer 517. This is the full building here now.
So what are you building? What's this?
This is an aluminium bench.
Yeah.
Very lightweight and strong.
Yeah.
Keep weight down. Integrated snap-on toolbox.
Yeah.
Steel top. Compressor, drawers.
And that's all going in here?
It's all going in here with a welding unit at the front.
What weight will this van be when you've got all the gear in here?
So we'll run around 4.7.
So this is the place where you're going to revive our bucket, and it's going to be as strong as ever.
It'll be better than a new one.
Better than a new one. And what's the repair you're doing at the moment? Okay.
This is to unload trains at the railhead. This is a 40-ton excavator bucket with 50mm edge on it. That's an HP 500 edge. So yours will be something similar to that, HP 500. Just new adapters, 2 teeth and a new bit of a floor in it. It was snapped in half this completely.
So we're in Baz's workshop. We now know where the Ashville bucket is going to be revived if I can find a way to get it up here. That is.
I'll get it up here for you.
The man with all the answers, boy.
Yeah.
What a workshop. Look at that.
Proper workshop.
This is Foxy's electric Volvo. I can't even hear anything. What's your payload on there?
27.
So what can you get in the back?
14.
How'd you find it?
Not bad.
You like it, yeah?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
They get about 100 miles out of it before they got to recharge it. If they're doing local work in and around, so I suppose that actually works out for them. I've been here like 2 hours and I've seen it in and out 3 times already, so it must definitely be busy. Look at this weapon, V8 Uno Scania. Hey, this is some bit of kit. A 770, look at the size of it. I'm 6'5", Look at this. Look at the artwork on the side of it in memory of our queen who we lost. This is what I'm talking about. If I didn't have filming to do on more pressing matters, I'd be taking this around the block. Now, I thought that that was impressive, but this is just a different kettle of fish altogether. Like, what is really going on in this place? What is Optimus Prime doing in here? This is Optimus Prime for one of the Transformers movies, and this is it from one of the other ones. I cannot believe that I am in this yard and there's loads of work going on. There's grabs, there's tippers, roll-on, roll-offs, crushing, screening. I can see bins, there's a massive shed. And in the corner of the yard, Optimus Prime is sitting there waiting to transform. What is really going on? Gonna have a chat with Paul about these, but I assume that these are lorries that he is gonna be sending to the shows. It's the worst place for me to be, because now I see this, I think, well, do you know what? Maybe I need one of those. The fact of the matter is, nobody needs one of those. You just want one of those. At the moment, I have neither, but if I was gonna spend some money, I'm gonna throw it out there and say I would go for that one, because I think I would be a little bit more comfortable in that one. I don't think I'd fit here. Explain this to me.
That's my old man. Well, my old man, my grandfather, he brought me up.
Yeah.
He died in 2007, and then we got this about 10 years ago, did it up, and then we just did all the different things from years gone by. You had mobile cranes and what have you, so Aki border into another 8-wheeler, T-cab, different machines, old Navi cranes, just as a bit of a showpiece for him, really.
Wow, in honour.
In honour. And you'll notice a lot of the stuff has got HF on it, which is my old fella's initials. A lot of the wagons, a lot of the machines have all got his initials in the rope.
Michael O'Donovan's got something very similar with his dad on the back of his Arctic as well.
With a shed full of Scanias.
I can't put anyone on the back of mine, but maybe one day somebody will put me on the back of theirs.
Yeah.
Time now is 3:42. We're heading back to London. What an inspiring day. Had a great chance to have a look around their workshop, have a look at the yard. I'm humbled at how welcoming and nice everyone was to me. And I'm thankful that there's lots of people up north watching Ashville Weekly. I haven't actually done a day's work yet. So now we're going to head back. We need to offload all the footage that we've gotten from today. And then I need to start looking at my emails and start trying to respond. Onwards and upwards.
Saturday morning, I'm on the road again. I'm going from site to site, looking at potential jobs and make use of a day when there's not a lot of traffic on the road. Today, at the £15 million house, we're preparing for a couple of concrete pours which are happening on Monday. So we've got a full team there trying to ensure that we cross all the T's and dot all the I's, so Monday morning, first thing, we can pour that concrete. Two things happening at the yard today. The first one is Terry, Julia and Liam are in training for the Ashville plant hire system, the operational system which I've been working on setting up to learn how to use the system, how to input data, and the importance of getting the data right, which you enter into the system in the beginning, so later on the business is a lot more automated. While the training takes place, we're improving the air conditioning in the main office upstairs. The air conditioning system in there is rather old. It does work, but it's not as powerful as it used to be. And with the temperature the way it is, my friend Craig, who owns ECS, Eco Climate Solutions, has sent some of the team down and they are installing a brand new system, which in the summer will keep the team nice and cool, and in the winter will keep them nice and warm. Or as Terry would like to say, the entire time have the office at 200 degrees Celsius. When I'm done after work, once a year I meet up with my friends I grew up with, have a night together. Now the lads are on this like fancy dress flex. I'm not really on this. As Michael O'Donovan likes to point out, the clothes I wear are for fancy dress anyway, because Michael O'Donovan thinks he's funny. But this year, my friend Paul has managed to sell it to me. And I'm like, bro, I'm not really on that. That's not really me, all that fancy dress business. But he had an idea which caught my attention. So hopefully later on, it works out well for me. Oh yes. Here to end all the content that you've been living on. And that's it for Ashville Weekly, episode 140. Click here for the Ashville website. Click here to subscribe to our channel. Click here for an Ashville video you may not have seen before. And click here to see last week's episode which was 139.